try, but you never do. Sugar, there's a reason why we lose.
About the electronic strategy, particularly in terms of your traction control. As we mentioned pre-show, it's the hottest conditions we've had of the entire weekend. By the time the Grand Prix starts in about 20 minutes or so, it could be up to around 30 degrees, and traditionally this race pace. Jack Miller looking strong as well. Let's hear the pre-race thoughts. Simon Crafart is with the Ducati team manager Davide Tardozzi.
Yes, David, as Matt was just saying, Pecco's looked really good this weekend. Also, Jack, we know how well he starts. If he can get in there, I'm sure he can go as well. I want to know, what are your concerns going into this race?
Just the first lap, the first corner, that nothing happened. But anyway, we know that it will be very tough to beat Fabio. I don't think the race will be very fast, so I think that a lot of riders will be there at least for the first half race, and we see what's going to happen.
One other thing, tyre over the distance, okay, on the Ducati?
Yeah, we have no problem. The tyre, I guess, will be the same for all the grid. I think that almost everybody will be on hard on front and medium rear. So
a fiesta feeling, a carnival and party atmosphere about this Red Bull Grand Prix of Spain. 2022, thankfully, has been no exception. Fans, we're going to welcome you all back through the gates throughout the course of this season. We can't wait to see you all. I know that there's going to be thousands coming. So hard to call, but that front row, Bagnaia, Quartararo and Aleix Espargaro, they have got a great chance of taking the victory here today.
Looked awesome all weekend, both for one-off pace and also race pace. What do you think he can do today?
First of all, he has to try to get as much point as possible. Extremely lap. I could not expect such a fast time attack. But anyway, in these days, Fabio shown a really good pace in every session. Even this morning with quite...
Fabio Quartararo's with him. Otherwise, Quartararo could threaten a dominant runaway performance like he managed 7 days ago in Portimao. He thinks that's a big ask. He thinks that's going to be difficult to manage. But if they can disrupt Fabio Quartararo's early rhythm on the factory Aprilia team, certainly loving life with Aleix Espargaro, just 3 points off the top of the World Championship coming into this round 6, having had 2 podiums in the last 3 races. It's another front row start for the Spaniard in his home Grand Prix. Let's hear the pre-race thoughts of Aprilia Racing Series.
I want to know, do you think he can do that?
I think the first lap will be quite important. As always now MotoGP with so tight grid, you know, with the gap so small, it's very important to start in front and to be. It was hot, so I'm quite curious to see the last 10 laps of the race. I'm confident. I don't think we can... I mean, I will target, let's say, top 6, I will be happy. Maybe, obviously, if there is a chance for a podium.
Want better. His teammate Maverick Vinales, who got himself into Q2 for just the 2nd time this season yesterday, didn't really capitalise on his strong performance in FP3. Vinales will start from 12th place on the 2nd of the RSG.
Grand Prix weekend nowadays. Qualifying 1 is absolutely jam-packed with competitive riders. Rins unable to make his way through. Here's Fabio Di Gianantonio then, a former winner here, of course, took his only Moto2
away to a podium in MotoGP. It has not happened for a Japanese rider since Katsuyuki Nagasuga was on the podium in a wet Grand Prix in Valencia back in 2012. Listen to this stat as well. There's not been a dry race podium for a Japanese rider in the Premier class. Alex Rins, will he be, as we said, the comeback king again here in Jerez after his heroics 7 days ago in Portimao? Let's get the pre-race observations of Team Suzuki X-Star boss Livio Supo with Simon.
Almost as good as anyone. Can you tell us what your thoughts are?
Yeah, for sure, for Alex it will be more difficult. See what happens.
One other question. Having to fight in a group, my gut feeling is it could be a problem for the front tyre. What are yours?
Yeah, this is the same for everybody anyway. So we will have to manage like everybody else.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks to Simon Crafart, thanks to Livio Supo. Down on the grid then, what lies in store for the factory Suzuki team? Alex Rins will be end. Umbrellas needed to shelter from the sun as Top Gun comes to 12th place on the grid. Maverick Vinales fans, they're out.
Sent his own message of support to Maverick Vinales on Friday. As we look back at Miguel Oliveira, we've touched on the problems that he had in qualifying 1 yesterday. A real uphill task ahead of the factory KTM rider. Just look how up and down his season has been. On his record around this circuit, 2 victories. This is the first time, of course, he's been off pole position. Can he extend his World Championship lead in the Grand Prix, which gets underway in just under 10 minutes' time?
Denials all round that he's re-signed with Yamaha for another 2-year contract. It's all pointing towards valuable to them. Andrea Dovizioso then a little bit further back, down in 23rd place. Just a little message there on the screen of Andrea Dovizioso. That's for Matteo Ballerini.
The ball today in a good race. How do you feel going into this one about your 2 riders?
Well, I think this race is tricky always, because you know the last 10 laps here, if you don't manage a tire correctly at the middle of the race, you're gonna be fucked for sure. So you have to be careful, you have to be fast, but not only with throttle. You have to try to keep good lines, good rhythm, but not to push too much a tire. So if he managed to do this during the whole race, I think he has more chances than what people think.
Alberto, excellent insight. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
Yeah, you can never count Marc Marquez out of contention, can you there? An interesting way of saying that Marc Marquez, don't rule him out. We apologise for Alberto's language there. So then, as we said, as we can confirm, Marc Marquez and all other 24 of his rivals ahead of the Spanish Grand Prix will start with the hard front tyre, the medium rear tyre. Tyre wear, tyre life will be such a key element of this Grand Prix, because it's the hottest conditions of the weekend. We do know that that can make this Jerez circuit 4.4 kilometres in length, 13 corners.
Rowe certainly pulled it out of the bag in qualifying yesterday, left it late in both free practice 3 and qualifying to rescue a spot on the second row of the grid. Wasn't so certain he had the pace to go with the riders ahead of him, particularly under braking, just not able to stop the bike in the same way that Pecco Bagnaia is up ahead of him. Aleix Espargaro looking ahead. Can he get in amongst the predicted heavyweight head-to-head between? But bigger prizes are up for grabs today here in Jerez this afternoon.
It's going to be a big ask for Joan Mir to get away well and fight his way through the pack. He goes from the back of that third row, 9th. On the road, third row with Nakagami and the impressive rookie Marco Bezzecchi. He starts from 5th as we 5 minutes away from the race start here in the Red Bull Grand Prix of Spain. We've already had 5 fantastic races to kick off this 2020. 69 points Fabio Quartararo and Alex Rins have amassed from those opening 5 Grand Prix. Pecco Bagnaia in recovery mode points-wise. He's down in 10th place in the order. 31 points for Pecco Bagnaia in those opening 5 races, as Fabio Quartararo gets himself in the zone. Watching MotoGP on the TV, every Spanish rider dreams of winning the Spanish Grand Prix here in Jerez. The grid is littered with top-notch Spanish talent. Will it be Pecco Bagnaia or Fabio Quartararo, though, that will stand in the way? Will they gate crash the big party here on Spanish soil? So your front row for this 25-lap battle here in Jerez. It's a 3rd front row start of 2022 for Aprilia Racing rider Aleix Espargaro. Will he be the World Championship leader going to France in just 2 weeks' time? He's just 3 points behind this man, Fabio Quartararo, the reigning World Champion. Can he make it a dream week on the Monster Energy Yamaha and win back-to-back races? He was victorious in dominant fashion 7 days ago in Portimao. But Ducati are looking strong here this weekend. There's a maximum wave going in the grandstand in front of us. Pecco Bagnaia prepares to start for the first time on pole position in 2022. The Grand Prix of Spain up next.
Like you, be strong to hold the powers of the sun.